Over the last few years, I've been consoled many times by this phrase, you already have what you need. It comes straight from 2 Peter 1:3, and the Spirit reminded me of its power during a particularly stressful season. It's now an ongoing life paradigm for me. I thought it might be nice if we spent a little time in 2 Peter lingering over these words slowly, savoring them like a fine chocolate. So whether you're putting on your makeup, taking a walk, or running an errand, I hope you'll sink down into the goodness of this truth. I'm Jem Fadling, and it's time for I Can Do That. Let's begin by reading 2 Peter 1:3 from the New Living Translation. And note that I'll be pausing here and there throughout this prayerful conversation. I'll be asking a few questions, and I'm going to give you time to think. You can always return to this episode and take further time if you want by pressing pause. So here's 2 Peter 1:3. By His divine power, God has given us everything we need for a godly life. We have received all this by coming to know Him, the one who called us to Himself by means of His marvelous glory and excellence. We've been given everything we need for living a godly life. But that's easy to forget, isn't it? Much of life these days feels like an assault on the senses. We're seeing too much, hearing too much, and experiencing too much. Thanks to the information age, we are inundated with images, news, and data on constant repeat. So let's back up to the very beginning of the sentence. By His divine power. God's divine power. Let's soak in that for a moment. Divine means proceeding directly from God. It is by this power that God grants to us what we need. How do you resonate with knowing you have everything you need for living a godly life? How is this difficult for you to wrap your head around? I'll give you just a moment to think about that. How do you resonate with this? Or how is it difficult? It also says that we have been given everything we need. I believe this means we have access to what we need within us somewhere. It says everything. It may have been forgotten, covered, or lost, but I'm reminded that I have it. Do you believe that you have access to what you need, even if you don't know how to attain it right now? The next phrase sheds even more light onto this. We have received all of this by coming to know Him. It's by our organic, attuned, receptive relationship with God that we become more aware of this everything. How are you learning to become more attuned and receptive to God these days? Well, the last phrase says this, the one who called us to Himself by means of His marvelous glory and excellence. God desires you. God calls you. What does it mean to you that you have been called to God? I hope you've been nourished by this verse. The next time you feel stuck or overwhelmed, remember this phrase, you already have what you need. Then lean into God for what that means for you in that moment. Here's your I Can Do That for this week. Take some time to ponder the questions again. You can come back and listen, and like I said, press pause and give yourself more space, or you can just write these down and journal a bit. Here they are. How do you resonate with knowing you have everything you need for living a godly life? Or how is this difficult for you to wrap your head around? Second, how are you learning to become more attuned and receptive to God these days? And finally, what does it mean to you that you have been called to God? Remember, you're making your way forward one small, simple, and gracious step at a time. Hey, remember last week when we talked about pre-ordering Hold That Thought? You can still do it. I'm gathering a team of ladies So it's time to pre-order. And here again is the list of amazing gifts you'll get from me when you pre-order the book. You're going to get 7 digital art cards, and all 7 of the voices that I cover inside the book are on there with new content. You're going to get 3 coaching videos from me where I highlight some of the main themes of the book. You'll get a whole month free of Replenish beginning on September 12th. This is my new and refreshed online coaching and community for women. You're also going to get 2 digital chapters of Hold That Thought, so you get a sneak peek before everyone else. And I'm going to have a private Facebook group. I'm going to share some early insider info and connections. So join my book party and pre-order today at unhurriedliving.com/holdthatthought.